This is Royal Caribbean's second biggest ship, also known as Icon of the Seas. Icon of the Seas, not only is it the second biggest ship in Royal Caribbean, it's also the second biggest ship in the world behind Star of the Seas. Icon of the Seas is truly one of a kind with its amazing amenities and just so much stuff on board. And I was actually lucky enough to get on the ship and record a full tour of this ship. So guys, please do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. Grab yourself some drink, grab yourself some snacks, grab yourself some popcorn, sit back, relax, and enjoy. So this video is going to be a deck-by-deck tour. The ship starts at deck 2. There's no deck 1 because I think that's where the staff is, like where they sleep. So we're starting at deck 2, and deck 2, there's not really much. Deck 2, you don't have anything besides the boardwalk. The boardwalk is just a place if you want to get off the ship to your destination and stuff. So yeah, there's pretty much nothing here, so let's move up a deck. So even though it's just the beginning of the ship, we're already starting off fantastic at the main dining room. So this is a place that's open breakfast and dinner, and also open for lunch on sailing days. And this is complimentary, so it's free if you guys ever decide to go on here. This is probably one of the only places to eat where you will get it free if you are in a regular room. I think there are other places, but this is one of the main places, and the main dining room is 3 stories high. So we're going to go deck by deck. We're just going to start with the first story, and there is a lot of seating everywhere. Look at that chandelier. That's a very nice chandelier. Even that chandelier, it's a very nice chandelier too. On the other side of the ship, you'll also find a medical center, and come on, it's self-explanatory. You guys know what the medical center is for. But if you really don't know what the medical center is, it's for people who need help if they're like feeling sick or if they just need help in any way. Next up is the music hall, which we will get to shortly because this is also part of the next deck. So this is the music hall located on deck 3 and 4. I did it in deck 4 because I think it's the bigger piece of the puzzle, and also because they were doing some private event on deck 3. I'll get to it later. And actually, I do really like this music hall. It has like circle, looks like speaker spots, and this is also a good place to get away from the crowd. And as I said before, the private event, there is an auction with paintings happening, and it's some private event. We weren't allowed to go down there. And located on the other side of the ship is the main dining room for the next deck, deck 4. It's pretty much the exact same as the one on deck 3, except I think it's less seating. And also I think you have to be reserved based, like you get chosen at your deck based on what hotel you are. But you still get a view of the chandelier, and it's still the exact same as the other decks. On that same side of the ship, you will also find a casino. Now I didn't go far in because obviously a casino is for legal age. But the casino is pretty much like, it is pretty much like your casino. It's not like a Las Vegas themed casino, but there are some slot machines, a few poker tables as well for those who want to like gamble and stuff. This deck does have a lot of stuff, but we're going to get through it all. Starting off at the main dining room on deck 5, you see this deck I think does look a little bit nicer in my opinion because we had that like ceiling chandelier up there, very good art. And basically, I mean, it's still not as much seating as on deck 3. It's still quite a lot of seating, though. And in my opinion, I think this is the nicer deck of them all because you do get a good view of the main dining room. And on top of that, I think there's also more scenery and chandeliers and stuff. Outside of the ship, there is also a jogging track for those who want to go get their exercises in, get some jogs in. And this does wrap around the entire 5th deck of the ship, so it is pretty long. Now, this is where things really start to heat up. This is the Royal Promenade, the first major neighborhood in the ship. Now, the Royal Promenade has been around for quite a time, but it's nothing like all the previous Royal Promenades are nothing compared to this one. Right off the bat, we can see that there are some watches, very fancy watches, in some cases. I think those are available to buy. Right beside it, we have Port Marchand. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. And over here, there's some like liquor over here, and I'm not sure if this is French liquor or regular liquor, but here's where you could buy some like liquor, some wine, some whiskey, that stuff. Over here we also have Crown and Anchor Society, otherwise known as Next Cruise. This is the place where you normally go if you want to book your next cruise or find information about it. Right now there's no staff though. Over here is Point and Feather, and this is pretty much like a pub place. And this is a bar. You could grab a couple drinks and stuff, sit down, and yeah. Over here is guest services. This is pretty much if you have like a question or if you want to refund something. or something else. But what this is truly known for is the infamous Pearl. This is the Pearl of Icon of the Seas. This is the only class ship in Royal Caribbean that has it. It's this ship and Star of the Seas, the sister ship of Icon of the Seas. This Pearl is absolutely crazy. It stands like 3 stories high, and there is something inside of it. We will look into it after, though. There is also a Royal Caribbean shop, and this is for if you want to buy any Royal Caribbean merch or souvenirs or stuff like that. And despite having all this luxurious stuff, there's still a freaking Starbucks in this. I find it so hard to believe that this ship has like so much luxurious stuff, and they still crammed a Starbucks in there. Beside the Starbucks is the collection. The collection is basically a spot for purses. It's basically a purse shop. There's a lot of luxurious purses in here from a lot of purse brands like Paris and stuff. And if you want to buy a purse, I would absolutely recommend this shop. Beside that is Sorrento's. And Sorrento's is basically probably the best place you will find pizza on the ship. There are some classics here like cheese, pepperoni, but there's also some other Italian flavors. I think one is like a focaccia flavor or something like that. And man, just looking at this is making my mouth water. Right across from that is Spotlight Karaoke. And the vibes here are awesome. There's a stage over there that shows like speakers as decoration. And those are not real speakers, by the way. And there's a lot of seating everywhere. There's like TVs. I think that's for the karaoke. And there's even a bar right over there. And this is actually a great place to be. And when there's no karaoke, this is actually also a good place if you want to get away from the crowd. So you would probably think with a big promenade like that, you think it would probably come to a halt, right? Haha, no. Yep, that's right. There's a whole other floor of promenade that we still have to talk about. Starting off at this statue thing, which I mean, it looks kind of cool, but it's not really part of anything. Beside the statue is dueling pianos, and dueling pianos is basically a piano-placed bar where there's a piano player who will entertain the crowd, play some piano, entertain. There is a lot of seating around here, though, and once again, this is a great place to get out of the crowd when there's no piano player, and there's a bar right there for a drink while somebody's playing piano. And this is actually a pretty nice room because there is some piano decorations around. There's like piano walls. It's pretty nice. There isn't any entertainment here, but you'll find some really nice art here and even a silhouette of some people partying and stuff. And yeah, it's pretty nice actually. Right beside the silhouettes, you'll find Giovanni's Italian Kitchen and Wine Bar. Giovanni's is basically an Italian eatery. I do not think this one is complimentary. I think you do have to pay extra for this. But it's still really nice here. There is a lot of seating, of course, because, I mean, it's a restaurant and they got to eat there. I mean, duh. And yeah, it's really nice there. There's a lot of Italian ingredients on the floor, and there's even a lot of Italian decorations and stuff. Very, very nice here. And as an Italian myself, I must say, this smells and looks really good. I didn't eat it, though, because you have to pay extra. The next thing on the list is the Schooner Bar. The Schooner Bar is basically just a place where you could, like, sit back and you could watch. Sometimes there'll be some piano players. That's why there's a piano over there. And there is also a bar on the side of it. Here, I'll show you right now. That's the bar right over there. And yeah, it's basically a place if you want to relax and hear people play piano. On the other side of Schooner Bar, you'll find Boleros. And Boleros is a Latin bar where there's a lot of seating, a lot of comfy seating around. There's the bar right over there. And it's pretty much like Boleros, but instead of Boleros piano music, it's Latin music. But up next is what's behind the Pearl. So this is what's behind the Pearl when you walk through the Pearl. There's a lot of comfy seating everywhere with an ocean view as well. And this is the Pearl Cafe. This is basically like Starbucks, except there is a lot more variety on foods. And as you can see, there's a lot of like sandwiches and salads. There's even parfaits. And if we go around to the other side, there's more sandwiches and stuff. And those are, I think some are breakfast sandwiches, some are lunch sandwiches. Over here is like the desserts and stuff. There's cakes. There's also cupcakes. There's even more over there. And over here is the coffee area. So yeah, it's pretty much like a Starbucks. But it is better to come here, and I'll tell you why. First of all, Starbucks, you do have to pay for it. And second of all, there's a lot more food options over here. I don't know if there's as much options as Starbucks, but there are still some options, like some classics from Starbucks. We're finally done with the promenade. But that doesn't mean we're done with the whole ship. On deck 7, the first thing you'll find is 6th and Main. 6th and Main is basically just like a little store if you want to buy some sunglasses, or if you also want to buy some like merchandise and stuff. They have a little bit of merch here and some jewelry and basically stuff that you didn't bring when you didn't bring from packing. Right beside 6th and Main, you will find Playmakers, and I'll count this as a small neighborhood. But Playmakers is basically a sports bar and arcade. There's some like old classic arcade games from the 80s and stuff, and it's a sports bar, and the entire place is surrounded by TVs, all playing different sports games and stuff. I see a lot of people come down here. They also have a pool, Jatoni table down here, and some pool tables. And they even have a shuffleboard too. We'll get to the shuffleboard later. But whenever I come down here, it's always packed over here. There's always games on. There's always people watching the games. And yeah, it's pretty packed down here. And over here he sees Pac-Man and Donkey Kong games. And those are the two main TVs that we just walked by. Oh, there's even a life-size Jenga. I forgot about that. And yeah, this place is pretty packed. Look at that. They even have air hockey over here. They even have Mario Kart machines. And right beside the air hockey table is the shuffleboards. In Playmakers, you'll also find Absolute Zero. Absolute Zero is basically an ice skating rink. There's no ice on it right now, but usually there's ice falling down. Look at that. There's lights over there too and everything. It's very nice. I really like this room, actually. It's very colorful. There is a lot of seating, and once again, it's basically an ice skating rink. Sometimes there's even ice skating shows. Right beside Playmakers, you'll also find Adventure Ocean. Adventure Ocean is basically a place where people from 6 months all the way up to 12 years could go. This place is also pretty nicely decorated too. There's some little buildings, little paintings, little designs. It's pretty cool. As you can see, just before you walk in, you'll find this TV that has like actual playable games on it. There's another one right there. This is the first area. This is the youngest kids area for people from 6 months to 16 months. This next spot is for people, I believe it's ages 3 to 7, I forgot, but I believe it's around there. The next spot is for ages 8 to 12, but I couldn't really get it because we weren't allowed to record. So I tried to get the best picture possible I can. This is it. You can't really see it, but in this picture there is a lot of TVs, and those TVs do include switches, and they also have some like shows on. Sometimes it's pretty nice, and if you want to like go relax somewhere on a ship and you want to take your kids somewhere, I'd recommend this spot. And on the other side of Playmakers and Adventure Ocean and stuff is Surfside, our next major neighborhood. So just before you walk into Surfside through the doors, you will find this flamingo ring standing on a ring thing. And I guess you could say you'll get welcomed by it. And I'm just going to start off by giving an explanation of what Surfside is. So every Royal Caribbean, well, not every, but most of the Royal Caribbean cruise ships have this thing called a boardwalk. A boardwalk is basically an outdoor promenade. There's a little bit less stuff than the promenade, but it's basically an outdoor promenade. It's been the same on every cruise ship, but this one is a lot more updated. It's cooler, it's more colorful, it's so beautiful. So we're going to give you a full tour of Surfside. So starting off when you first walk in is the arcade. And actually before that, just look at how detailed this is. Sorry, I glazed this neighborhood a lot, but anyways, the arcade it's not like Playmakers. There's a lot more arcade games. There's even a prize hub, which is amazing. So instead of like somebody giving you your prize with your tickets, you could pick out the prize. And there's just a lot of like claw machines, some key games. They even have a stacker, my personal favorite arcade game. And next to that, they even have a piano keys. It's the smaller version, but it's okay. And right across from that, you see some mini basketball, but like there's TVs. It's pretty high tech. You'll also find another air hockey game. This one looks a little bit more high tech because look at that. There's a screen showing the scores, and yeah. You'll also find a classic arcade game, Big Bass Pro. Right beside that, you'll find some shooting games, some Transformer games. There's even a duck claw machine, some go-karting games right there. There's even another Mario machine. And there's Pop the Lock right there, another one of my favorite arcade games. Anyways, right beside Pop the Lock, you'll find some actual size basketball games and a skee ball. Now, this arcade isn't as good as other arcades that I've seen, and another downside, you do also have to pay for it. Across from the arcade is Surfside Eatery. Unfortunately, Surfside Eatery was closed because it's only open for lunch, but here's the inside of it. And in Surfside Eatery, they just serve some like chicken nuggets, they serve some fruits, some hot dogs, just that stuff. Right in the middle of those two is even a carousel inside of a neighborhood, which I don't know how or why they put it there, but it's nice. You're also gonna find Sugar Beach in the Surfside. Oh boy, let me tell you, if you have children, they would go nuts around this place. Sugar Beach is basically a place that they serve all sorts of sweets, and I'm not gonna lie, it smells very good in here. But they serve all sorts of like sweets and stuff, and lollipops and candies, all that stuff. And they even have a couple decorations like a gumball wall. There's a Life is Sweet sign over there. And yeah, it's pretty nice too. Besides Sugar Beach, on the left-hand side, you'll even find a little playground over here. Now, the playground, I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty cool and stuff, but I think we're a little too old for the playground. I mean, for younger kids, it's pretty nice. Across from the playground, you'll also find Sprinkles, and Sprinkles is basically a soft-serve ice cream place. So you could go there, you can get yourself some ice cream. This isn't the only Sprinkles on the board. This is one of two locations. And Sprinkles is basically a place, I already said it, but I'll say it again, where you could get some soft-serve ice cream. They have two different flavors, chocolate, vanilla, but they also have a third flavor, a twist of chocolate and vanilla. Besides Sprinkles is Surfside Bites, and Surfside Bites is not like Surfside Eatery. Surfside Bites instead is just like little bite-sized foods, just if you want to like grab a snack or go on the go. They do serve burgers here, which is a plus for me. I absolutely love burgers. Just a couple steps from Bites is Pier 7. I almost messed up there. Pier 7 is basically it's kind of like a fishy themed or like a wavy themed menu, and it's basically like a restaurant in Surfside. However, I never ate here because it does cost extra. Across from Pier 7 is the Lemon Boat, and the Lemon Boat is basically like a lime and coconut. If you've ever been on any Royal Caribbean cruise ship, you know about lime and coconut, but instead, it's down here. There is a lime and coconut somewhere, but there is another bar down here. Obviously, you already know what it's called. And over here, they do serve some like drinks and stuff, and this is for like if you want to watch the kids play in another area coming up, and just grab a drink and stuff, or if you're thirsty or whatever you want. Up next is probably what Surfside is known for, the Splashaway Bay. So if you've been on a Royal Caribbean ship, you know about Splashaway Bay. But if you've never been on Icon, or if you don't know anything about Icon, what you don't know about Icon of the Seas is Splashaway Bay, is that instead of being on the pool deck, it's on the surf side, which is, I believe, the reason why they called this deck Surfside. This area is amazing, especially for little kids like my brother. He went in, it was kind of rushed, so he went here on the second last day. It was amazing. There's a pool right over there facing the ocean, and there's a bucket. This is just a perfect place for kids if they want to hang out. So I'm guessing you guys were thinking Surfside is over. Well, no, you are completely wrong, but there is absolutely nothing else on Surfside for Deck 8 besides two very small things. One of which is right here, a slide that could bring you down from Deck 8 to Deck 7, basically from the small Surfside area to the Surfside area that actually matters, and right now it's temporarily unavailable, sadly. And the final thing on Surfside is Sunshine and Sundries. Sunshine and Sundries are basically just a spot where if you forgot anything at home, or if you want any like child merchandise or some like shirts and stuff, you could get it over here. Actually, I got a pair of sunglasses over here because I forgot some at home. Alright, now with Surfside out of the way, you guys are probably thinking, yeah, I think we're good on neighborhoods. No! I'm sorry, but we're seriously not done with all these major neighborhoods. Next major neighborhood is Central Park, the third major neighborhood in this ship. Now, Central Park isn't as good as the Promenade and Surfside. Still a great neighborhood nonetheless. The goal for Central Park, well, first of all, actually, this isn't even a new thing. It's been on other ships too. But Central Park, the main goal for all ships was to make like a lot of vibrant plants and stuff. There's like a lot of plants everywhere, a lot of leaves and stuff, a lot of flowers. A very nice and peaceful area. I do sometimes like to come here after I'm done eating dinner on the ship. I like to come here just to chill out a bit, maybe even watch some stuff. And yeah, it's a very nice area. And basically, it's the New York version of Central Park, but just smaller and broken down into a ship. And we're going to take you through it, starting off at Regalia, which is basically a watch store. Similar to the one down in the Promenade, except it's in an actual store, and there's a lot of your favorite watches from different brands over here, such as Tag Heuer, Rolex. You can go on and they'll be here. Some watches are even very expensive too, like these Rolexes. They can go for at least a couple thousand. And if you're interested in buying a watch and you're on a cruise ship, then you could just come here. Look at this, there's even Cartier here as well. Across from Regalia is Lou's Jazz and Blues. And Lou's Jazz and Blues is basically a place where there'll be some jazz music playing. Sometimes they even play during the day at a random time. And you could just come down and sit here. Follow that out by Bubbles. Bubbles is basically a champagne place. Unfortunately, it's not complimentary, but if you do want to buy some champagne and stuff, here you go. Across from Bubbles is the Park Cafe. That also comes with this weird looking statue. So this is like the Pearl Cafe, but instead there's no well, there are sandwiches, but there's more like fruits and stuff and desserts. Oh, but one thing Park Cafe does have though is roast beef, which freaking looks amazing. I can't even lie. And across from that is the Trellis Bar. Once again, it's just like a little small sit-down bar, and yeah, serve up drinks, and you know. And across from that is a little place called Sushi and Ice Cream. Now, it doesn't literally have sushi and ice cream, but over here, they have, I gotta say, a lot of stuff. As you can see over there, they have rare Japanese sodas, and they have also some basic sushi. Now, if you want more advanced sushi, this place is for you. Izumi, Hibachi, and Sushi. And yes, it is literally hibachi and sushi. This side that's being recorded right now is the sushi side. They have some little sushi tables, and they even have a sushi place right there where you could get your sushi. And I got to give these guys huge props because even though they were closed until dinner, which was like about another hour or two from then, they still let us record the place, which is amazing. And thanks so much to the staff who are very, very friendly. Now, yes, I did say this is also a hibachi place, and here you go. This is the hibachi bar. Now, if you've been to hibachi before, you know what this looks like. But this hibachi on the cruise, oh my God. I'm not even going to start with it. I had it one night. And yeah, you do have to pay extra for it. But I was able to pay extra for it. I had it one night. Oh my God. I was literally ascending into heaven after that. The final place at Central Park is Chops Grill. And we are ending it off on a banger. Chops Grill is a restaurant where they primarily cook steak and different meat. As you can see here, there's tons of steak over here. There's different kinds of steak. There's brisket. There's tomahawk. There's everything here. And I gotta say, the restaurant itself looks pretty nice too. There's a lot of beautiful seating over here. A lot of beautiful seating over there. A lot of beautiful seating everywhere. Pretty nice and vibrant. The last thing on deck 8 is the Empire Supper Club. Now, this is a very exclusive dinner place that you could eat dinner here. And there's a live band playing for you while you eat. Very exclusive. That's why there's not much seating around here. And yes, you have to pay extra for this. A lot of extra. This is like $200 just to eat. Alright, we finally get a break from all the big neighborhoods and stuff. These next couple of decks are just rooms, and this is Deck 9's hotel rooms. I mean, just hotel rooms. And Deck 10 is also just the same thing, just a bunch of hotel rooms and stuff. And Deck 11 is the final deck with hotel rooms that we will be showing. So Deck 12 is also hotel rooms, but it does also have some stuff. Starting off at Park West, which is an art auction place. There's a lot of beautiful paintings over there, and there's even more over here. And these are actual paintings that are up on auctions. On the other side of that, we have Vitality at Sea, which is basically a spa. And you know what? I'll give this a small neighborhood count as well. But anyways, the spa starts off with this pathway. I'm sorry, I'm shaking the camera a lot here. But it starts off with a nice and calming pathway. And then you enter the spa right there. That computer is where you register an appointment to book the spa. And this place, I mean, I don't know what it's really for in this place. I think it's maybe just a waiting room for something. But yeah, I guess it's whatever. And then over here is the Vitality Cafe. This is the spa where it actually has something. And it's a nice little sitting area. I mean, it's pretty cool over here. There's even some art on the wall. Yeah, it's nice. This is the Vitality Cafe. The Vitality Cafe is actually a place where you can have some smoothies and some coffees and stuff instead of just sandwiches and food, which is actually pretty cool. The next neighborhood is actually a new, never seen before neighborhood called the Aquadome. But before we get into the good part of the Aquadome neighborhood, let's get to the Aquadome Market. The Aquadome Market is basically a place, an eatery place, where they serve primarily seafood, but I think they serve other stuff too. And there's also an ocean view. It's pretty nice over here. Now we're getting to the good part of the Aquadome neighborhood. Let's check out the actual Aquadome. Okay, before anything, the Aquadome is a stunning place. Like, look at this entrance. There's crystals everywhere, blue crystals. So freaking nice. Like, ocean scenery. Like, look at these plates, mosaic stuff. It's so beautiful, honestly. So when entering the Aquadome, you'll find a jewelry shop, the first thing you'll find. And over here is just, I mean, it's a lot of jewelry, and it's not like the watch shop in Central Park. It's just like chains and bracelets and stuff. And now let me show the actual Aquadome. Look at this beauty. This is the Aquadome. So what they do in the Aquadome is you can see the ring over there. This is where they do their water shows. They do like shows on water. They do like divers swimming, and they do like diving, jumping, and performing. A very beautiful show. Actually, I went to go see one. Here it is on clip. And it's as good as it gets. I'm not even gonna lie. In the Aquadome, you also find a restaurant called Hooked, and Hooked is basically a all seafood place. They serve only seafood in here. Like, they serve sorts of fish. They serve octopus too, I think. And it's pretty nice in here. I mean, they even have a bar over here. And actually, it's pretty nice over here just to get away from the massive crowd that's probably watching an aqua show right now. It's pretty cool. Up next is another small neighborhood called the Overlook. So this is on the other half of the Aquadome, and basically the Overlook is like a little place. It's like I guess a seating place. I'm not really entirely sure, to be honest, but yeah, it's just a little seating place on the other half of the Aquadome where you could get away from the Aqua Theater. And oh boy, what's coming up next is the biggest neighborhood in the entire ship. It stands at 3 stories high, and this will be majority of the video. Will take a majority of the video. This is the pool and sports zone. And since this is such a huge neighborhood, I'm just going to get right into it with Chill Island. And yes, this footage is recorded during the night. Me and my brother have been recording the ship all day, and as we approach the final few decks, this is going to be at night. I am very sorry about that, but it's okay. Let's begin with the Chill Island, and this is a pretty nice place, actually. You could see a whole view of the ship, and there's even a lot of seating here, a lot of colorful seating, so you could take a view and stuff. Very nice. And spread across the ship, there's even a bunch of loungers like these. There's even other types of loungers. Another place you'll find on the ship is the Lime and Coconut. The Lime and Coconut is the signature Royal Caribbean bar, and there are multiple of these on Icon. Beside that is also the Royal Bay Pool, and there's a hot tub beside it. But the Royal Bay Pool is the largest pool at sea. I know it's at night, so it's a little bit harder to see, but there it is. It's very, very big, I gotta say. Oh yeah, and as I mentioned before, there's a hot tub here, and there it is. I even forgot to say that if you walk a couple steps, you'll even find some ping pong tables, which is better on this ship because now it's covered inside. Before it used to be outside, but now it's a little bit more shade, and this is better for like wind resistant, and it's also good for when it rains. And then you'll even find another hot tub here. I'm going to stop showing the hot tubs though because there is multiple of them located on the ship. Close to the hot tub, you'll even find another Lime and Coconut. This Lime and Coconut has most of the frozen drinks and the colorful drinks as well. I mean, it's kind of like the other Lime and Coconut, but it's a little bit different. Sorry, I couldn't get a better view of this, but over here is an ocean-looking pool, and, well, I mean, it's self-explanatory. There's even a dry slide that goes from one deck to the next, so if you need to get down quickly, then you could just use the dry slide. Close to that, you'll even find a Sprinkles, the second Sprinkles, and the final Sprinkles located on this ship. And this one, there is more ice cream machines, so it is less of a lineup. Right beside that is also a sign called You Make Me Melt, so it's pretty cool if you want to take like an Instagram picture of it or do what you want. Over here, you're also going to find a number of different loungers and stuff, and these are actually pretty, and they are very well, I mean, you can't really see it at night, but they are colorful. And actually, I tried this lounger before. It is very comfortable. Close to that is an El Loco Fresh. El Loco Fresh is basically a Mexican eatery where you could get some tacos, you could get some quesadillas, you can get some burritos, and you could just sit down and eat. I've eaten here on other ships before, and it's not great, but it's good for like a grab and go. Oh yeah, and I forgot this is also like the 50th bar that's here. Now we're going to make our way over here and walk up these very nice and colorful stairs on our way to Thrill Island. The main attraction you'll find on Thrill Island is Category 6 Water Park. Category 6 Water Park is basically it's a water park, but it's known for having 6 record-breaking slides. This is the most slides Royal Caribbean has ever had on a ship, and these are easily the best slides that Royal Caribbean has ever had. In Thrill Island, you'll also find the Hideaway. And the Hideaway is a place, sadly, only for adults, only 18 plus. But the Hideaway is a place where it has the first ever suspended infinity pool on sea. It is a freaking beautiful looking pool. I'm a little upset that I'm not allowed to go in it, but it's okay. To the left-hand side of the Hideaway, you'll also find the Flow Rider, and the Flow Rider is not a new thing, but it is a surf simulator on a ship, which is actually really cool, to be honest. I've done it before, and it's nice. Now we're going to move a little bit to the Lost Dunes mini golf, and the Lost Dunes mini golf is easily their best mini golf course yet, but it's basically like an ocean, beach-themed, palm tree-themed mini golf course with a few wooden like props and stuff. Now, I forgot what this place is called, but over here you're going to find a pool like eatery if you want to eat some like dinner and stuff. They do have some stuff here, though. They have some burgers and stuff. They even have hot dogs and a couple of snacks here. It's pretty okay here. On Thrill Island Deck 17, you'll also find Deserted, and Deserted is basically a milkshake bar. There's tons of milkshake toppings, tons of like maraschino cherries and stuff. A lot of stuff, and you could have it on your milkshake. Look at that. There's even ice creams too. You could also get some like soda floats, like root beer floats and stuff. Like, look, those are the milkshakes. They look really cool. Outside of Deserted, you'll also find a cornhole area. You can see there's 2 cornholes and obviously cornhole bags. On Deck 17, you'll also find the Crown's Edge, and the Crown's Edge was replaced by the zip line. It's basically it goes off the ship, and you're hanging on a Royal Caribbean anchor thing, and it's like an obstacle course, like a zip line obstacle course. This was replaced by the zip line, which, as much as I love the zip line, this does look a lot cooler. Sadly, I wasn't able to try it though because we were kind of rushing and we didn't really have enough time to try this. There is also more pools on this deck, but this deck also has a live band over here. As you can see, well, they're not playing right now, obviously, but usually during the day, they play music while you guys are in the pool. On the other side, you'll also find another lime and coconut, but this lime and coconut serves different flavored like smoothies. I know it's very hard to see, but they have smoothies like strawberry, mango, peach, pina colada, watermelon. They have a lot of smoothies. Okay, so I was able to get a closer shot. The flavors they have are strawberry, peach, watermelon, pina colada, a hurricane flavor, which sounds pretty interesting, and mango. They even have the Swim and Tonic bar on Deck 17, and the Swim and Tonic is basically a place, sadly it's only for 18 and older, but it's a place where you could it's a swim out bar, so you grab a drink from the bar. I just zoomed in on it, and there's seats over there. It's hard to see, but there's seats, and you can just sit down while you're having your drink and you're in the pool. It's a very nice feature. Sadly, they just recently changed it to 18 plus because I think when kids were in there, they were splashing and it was getting in their drinks and stuff, so they changed it to 18 plus. Over here is the final small neighborhood on this ship, and it's Cloud 17. Cloud 17 comes with this very nice overlooking ocean pool. I spent a few minutes in here, I'm not gonna lie, it's very, very nice in here. Cloud 17 does also come with a lot of seating, comfortable seating here too, so that's nice. So now when you exit out of Cloud 17, we are approaching the final few things left, and this next thing is the rock wall. The rock wall is a lot bigger here, and normally on other ships, like the Oasis class ships, the rock walls are on the side or on the boardwalk. This one's up on the pool and sports zone. And then the final thing on the pool and sports zone is a basketball court. Now, this isn't just a basketball court. Well, it's mainly for basketball, but sometimes there's also other sports here. Like there's soccer, there's tennis. Well, not much tennis, but there's a lot of pickleball here. Sometimes I see pickleball here. Pretty nice, but this is just like a basketball court. And now we're heading to the final major neighborhood in this entire ship, and this is the suite neighborhood. Now, since I was a suite member, I actually did get access to the suite neighborhood. There's not much stuff in the suite neighborhood, but there's still a lot of stuff in the suite neighborhood. Starting off at the Coastal Kitchen. So the Coastal Kitchen is located on Deck 16 and 17. I just decided to do it on Deck 17 because I think it's easier. And the normally Coastal Kitchen on other ships like Oasis of the Seas and stuff is just one deck. I think this is the first ever double-decker. Well, I could be wrong, but this might be the first ever double-decker coastal kitchen on any Royal Caribbean cruise. So originally I thought one deck was for Suite Lounge, one deck was for Coastal Kitchen, but actually they're both like spread out. They're for both. Like there's one deck for Coastal Kitchen, another deck for Coastal Kitchen, and then there's some Suite Lounge spaces. And in the Suite Lounge, you could basically have free drinks and free snacks. And in Coastal Kitchen, you could eat. There's delicious food. It's a little bit extra of a cost, but the Suite Neighborhoods Coastal Kitchen has delicious food. And another plus, you could also see the aqua shows from the Coastal Kitchen. Here we are at the final deck. And if you guys made it this far into the video, please like and subscribe. You don't really have to if you don't want to. I just thought I'd ask. But if you did make it this far into the video, leave a comment down saying I made it this far and put the timeline of the video. Anyways, the last thing on the ship is the Grove Suite Sun Deck. If you are a Suite member on Icon of the Seas, I absolutely recommend this spot. Despite getting a lot of wind, this spot is fabulous. Only Suite members are allowed up here, so it's never busy or packed. And you can see there's tables over here because there's a little buffet over here. There's not much food. Well, there's still actually a little bit of food. But normally there's food over here, like there's sliders. I remember one time I came, there was buffalo chicken. That was very good. And there's just tons of food over here. And this is perfect for snacking, so you could eat up here. Just a little snack before you have your dinner, because mostly I find that this ship has a lot of dinner stuff. They even have a lot of desserts too. Really, really nice over here. And not only does it have all those snacks, it has a fabulous looking hot tub, probably the best looking hot tub here, and a fully private pool for just Suite members, and even a bar. Well guys, there you have it, a full 100% walkthrough of Icon of the Seas. At least I thought it was that, until I actually forgot something while editing it. So I'm just gonna add it right here. So I forgot to add the fitness center while recording this. I forgot to record it. I had to record it last minute, and I also forgot to put it in. So I'm just gonna edit it in and put it right now. So just before I start off, since I didn't put it in beforehand, the fitness center is located on deck 5. So yeah, the fitness center is, it's pretty big for a gym, not gonna lie. This is just the first room. And just like a regular fitness center with some medicine balls and some yoga and stuff. And then the next room is just some bikes and treadmills and tricycles, so if you want to improve your cardio. And then the final room is where they have all the gym weights and stuff, and all the bicep machines and all the machines that works on your upper and, well, not as much lower body, but more upper body. And there we go, and now it's actually real. That was a full 100% walkthrough tour of Icon of the Seas. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you all like, subscribe, so any other future videos. And I'm sorry, again, I'm very, very sorry for delaying this video a couple days. I forgot to edit it a few days, and I also had stuff this weekend, but I'm happy I at least got the video done. Anyways, guys, make sure you all like, subscribe, so you don't miss out any other future videos. On Tuesdays, our next LPL January episode. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that, and we'll see you on the next vlog. Peace out, everyone.